What's going on, everyone? I'm starting a minute or so early. Um, it is just myself tonight. Rather unfortunately, Mike, his grandmother passed over the weekend, so he is busy dealing with that. So that means I'm playing Forza Horizon. Also, I need to finish this season stuff, so added benefit. So I need to buy a 70 Volkswagen. Let's just buy it. That's easier. Normally, you can win these cars throughout the season to then do the kind of, I don't know exactly what they call it, like the multi-part story thing. Now, I need to win a dirt race without any upgrades. Okay, so I need to find a dirt race. Let's see what this does. I'm probably not going to get credit for it because there was just me, but you never know. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think they've gotten a little more strict about the event stuff. Kind of the key, at least in previous games, was you had to kind of figure out where um, people's like home locations were in terms of like what either festival site or what house they had set as their home was the primary home for a lot of people. Um, because then like all the events around there were um, like super short, and they had figured out how to kind of bypass a lot of the stuff. So it was kind of this fun like cat and mouse experience where um, like players were developing ways to get around the requirements for stuff, and like I think Playground was kind of, excuse me, excited to see what people were doing with it, but realized how exploitative people were getting with a lot of this stuff. Um, So they heavily clamp down on what you can and can't do. Also, I just rolled this thing, so that's fun. Let me find one that's just like a... I don't even think you can... Birds be chirping. Let's see. I guess we'll go here and see if anyone's done anything. Drift challenge, 1 lap. Maybe they just hid everything behind like the event lab stuff, because it's a lot harder to find the custom route exploitive ones, which are usually in a foreign language. Oh yeah, this is one of them. So if you're wondering why that happens, how you drive the course is what the game thinks the course should be. It's what it bases the course on. So like in that case, what you do is you just drive back and forth, and then you place a checkpoint in the center of the road. Well, as long as the person's paying attention. Okay, see, that didn't count, which is really annoying. And then, so they go back and forth, and then it's just a straight shot for the person driving. So it's honestly a fun thing. Like, I'm really hoping that this one counts, but. There's always one though, like when the story thing, like what I'm doing now, where I have to win a dirt race without any upgrades, and progress on to the next chapter. Like there's always one chapter that's just a real pain in the ass. And so it normally becomes a cat and mouse game between the devs at Turn 10 and Playground and the community themselves to figure out how to exploit the chapter stuff. So it's fun to see, it's fun to play. Just make sure the peel's not going to catch up. Also, I'd say I'm surprised that this thing rolls, but the suspension is so soft. Is it gonna? Oh. Let's see if that counted. Yes, cool. I already did that. It's nice. 6 stars in total from Trailblazers, so go upgrade this bad boy. 1107. Earn 100,000 in a 6-wheel vehicle. Okay, we can do that too. That's easy. And then we're gonna have to win a cross country.
Turn around when it is safe to do so. Recalculating route.
Alright, game. Yeah, sure. I definitely hit something there. Someone's got the wobs. Don't know if my gate would pick that up or not.
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
Whee! So, let's see. Get to the house. Let's do some upgrades. Wheel glitch is still happening, so that's fun. See if anyone's got a... Sure. Alright, so now I have to go find Trailblazers. Which I believe were introduced in 4. So they're kind of new, but not really.
You have arrived at your destination.
I guess they're new in the grand scheme of like Forza stuff or Horizon stuff specifically. Like, they're much more of a point to point. Like, they're not, you know, like the speed zones or whatever. we go. The weekly challenge is done. Now let's look for a cross-country race. We'll do this one. This should get us. The treasure challenge. And if we're able to, if I am able to complete the weekly stuff before the stream's up, I will hop into the Hot Wheels stuff, which I started a while ago, but haven't really gone back to since actually the last time I think that I streamed. Horizon was like the week that Hot Wheels came out. I played it like a day before stream, and then I played it on stream, and I might have played it one more time after that, but I've been mainly doing the regular game stuff, so we'll go into that if I'm able to get all this done before 9 o'clock. Oh, I'm sideways. We'll like it for now, unless it doesn't give me progress. It did everything like it did everything like normal, so it's at the Baja Festival, it looks like. It's at one of the entrances. It's right here. Look at that. I'm a genius. I gotta say, the accolade thing might be one of the most uninteresting additions that they've ever made to Horizon. Like, it just doesn't matter. You know, and the fact that they try to lock stuff behind accolades and that, and not your actual progress in the game like they used to. Like, I basically just went through accolades and got to Hall of Fame or whatever they call it by doing the weekly challenge stuff. Like, there's almost never a time where, especially early on, you're not gonna be just racking up accolades doing the weekly stuff. There's so many different, like, oh, this and that with, you know, it's basically, there's win every single type of race with every single class, and then every single type of vehicle in terms of, like, oh, pickup truck, or you know, like, there's the one for the buggies that we have to do, or, you know, there's specific ones for do something with this vehicle, and you're like, okay, well, that's stupid simple. I don't know why it's even a thing. Like, you know, there's, it used to be a lot harder to do I must have to do it all at once. Used to be a lot harder to unlock stuff. I guess is the best way to describe it. Unless you were, like, just power playing. Like, a lot of stuff used to be locked behind your player level. And that was something that, as well, through weekly challenges, you could kind of abuse. And I did it quite frequently. But, you know, the whole accolade system to me is just, I don't know, pointless, and, like, there's no real reasoning behind it other than, oh, it gets people playing, or whatever their excuse, you know. Or, like, it keeps the people engaged and things like that, but who really cares? This is a six-wheeled vehicle, so. Or are they gonna claim that it isn't? if they're claiming it's not a six-wheeled vehicle, it's a dually. It has 4 rear wheels, 2 front wheels, that's 6 wheels. Let's see what else I have that would be a 6-wheeled vehicle. I think I have one in mind that they might be wanting me to use. It's not Beamer, it's not Caddy, it's not Chevy. I don't think it's Dodge. Definitely not Ferrari. We know it's not the dually, so it's not going to be Ford. Couldn't spell there for a second. It's not that. I don't have the one that I was thinking. So, actually, can I do? Okay, so the trucks don't have anything. See, I think they want me to use like either this G63 or I think there's a Jeep one as well. Or like that. Which I guess would do the Velociraptor, it's cheaper. Seeing as how we're doing this for kind of a bit, and that's it. I'll just do the cheap one. We'll whack some like drift tires on it or something like that, and then just go around drifting. Maybe I can't. Alright, I wanna... drop about a total of 1,300, maybe 1,400 pounds. Out of the truck. Yeah, 1,300 pounds. Increase the horsepower by 1,100. This thing's gonna rip. Problem is, it's still all-wheel drive. So if I want to drift it, I'm gonna have to basically e-brake it, I guess. And hope that I can kind of just power it, I guess. Score. Almost there. Alright, we got the multiplier. Got the total points. Alright, that'll be over 100,000. Alright. So we need 12 more points. I need to figure out how to get about 10 more feet out of that. I think the Horizon Festival's like right there. Let's see. Yep. So. Here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna go. Do that. And then I don't think there's much weight savings in the wheels, if I remember right. Let me see. There we go. Okay, so all-wheel drive, the V12, stupid light on Rally Springs. Crank that up. Actually, we want the least amount of aero. Because basically we want to turn the car into a wing so that it stays up. In Horizon 4, I used to have 2 of these Evos, and I had one that was like my absolute top speed magnet for all the speed traps and speed zones. And then I had one that was an off-road beast.
Have arrived at your destination.
Tree. Yep. I figured I would fail. So that just tells me I need to take more of a right to left approach on the launch. Damn it. About 15 mile an hour too slow. I had another tree anyway. Some of these seasonal PR things, especially the danger zones, or danger signs, you have to be so precise. Should we be busting out the bands in the Bentley Bentayga? As I believe Cardi B used to say. Busting out the bands in the Bentley Bentayga. I think the biggest thing I would tell people that are new to the Horizon games is to not hoard your credits. Like, there's no reason for you to ever have to worry about money. Unless you want to, like, own every property and buy the 50 million credit cars and things like that. Like, you don't have to do that. There's so much in this game that you can, like, for instance, these unlimited buggies, which I say I can't tune it. Like, if you don't have one, buy one. Like, buy the cheapest one, upgrade it to whatever the max PI is, and then you'll dominate these races. Like, this thing needs to be upgraded. I think I can keep it B. It might have to be, or I might be able to go up to A. B. So, like, especially considering I know kind of how this course plays out, I'm definitely doing a transmission upgrade so that I can unlock that. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's get drift. Uh, 661 for the brakes. Go get it, dude. 665. Let's see if I can bring that down any. Okay, so I can do that. 13. Flywheel's a really good upgrade because it, like you saw, it didn't affect my PI at all, and it's almost always a like between 3 and 6 pound weight savings, and the engine will spin up faster, so you won't feel as kind of sluggish when you're going, which is really nice. Because I think one of the things that this game can kind of fall victim to, in the cars in it specifically, like the gearing on a lot of stuff is way off. So it feels very, very sluggish when you're driving them. And so kind of finding that balance of how to get it accelerating, how to spin the engine up faster, things like that. Like, those are the things that you will definitely notice driving the cars. Like, look, I mean, being able to unlock our gearing, we're doing 40 miles an hour faster already through that first downhill. Now, will we be 40 mile an hour up everywhere? No. Like, it's kind of a unique situation because we're basically giving gravity more, or less resistance in that case. With the gearing the way that it was set up before, it can only spin so fast. So you run the risk of basically the engine detonating itself. It won't do it in the game, but like if you had a real car in that situation where you're going downhill that fast, you could effectively blow up the motor because you rev it too high. And for those wondering, like, if you've played any of the Horizon games before, in fact, if you played any of the Drivatar games. So, Motorsport, I believe it was 3 or 4. Maybe it was 4. Or newer. So that includes all the Horizon games and 4, 5, 6, 7 for Motorsport. If you are comfortable driving a car in video games, you can almost always do the highly skilled Drivatars and be just fine. There are very few occasions where I finish lower than 3rd. Like, if I'm not absolutely dominating races, I finish no lower than 3rd. And so that's an easy way to just, again, generate massive credits, which then you can use to buy more cars or fast travel more or buy another player house or whatever. So. I would say, like, as far as the difficulty settings go, like, unless you're constantly using it, you can turn off rewind, and I think that's like 10 or 15% more credits. Like, so if you don't use rewind and you're comfortable restarting an event from the top, why not? Turn it off, make those extra credits. Make life easier for you. And if you are really into the drift stuff, like, you're gonna have to turn some of the traction control and stuff like that off anyway. Just keep it off. There's almost no reason to ever have to worry about traction control in this game. You almost always want it off. And I think it's like 5% bonus. So you're going to turn it off anyway, or you're going to want to turn it off. And why not? If you're struggling with traction, you can do a couple different things. So you can either change the tire compound that you're driving on to a stickier one. Obviously, it'll bump up your PI, so you'll have to be kind of cautious about that. Or you can put all-wheel drive on it, which again will affect your PI, but it will. It'll help you more than it'll hurt you, I would say, if you're trying to race. And there's some things that you can do with suspension that I am definitely not smart enough to cover tonight. But there's videos you can watch of like how to get the perfect off-road setup or the perfect whatever setup. Whatever you're trying to do, somebody's probably made a video about it. So you don't have to question if you're doing the right thing. And honestly, like, if you have an event that you're struggling with, I would say just, like, simple thing. Start the event, see what the leaderboard is, like, what the driver tars are driving, and either go buy that exact car if they're running a lot of the same one, or something similar, especially if you're doing anything goes. Do that, and that will get you one step closer to beating your Drivatars. And that's kind of the number one goal, is beating Drivatars. So there's another thing too, like, and it's kind of the process behind the exploits that I was talking about earlier with the different races that you could do. Learning when you have to actually trust the braking line and when you can forego it is hugely important. Because if there's a situation where you don't need to brake, but it says like there, we're like hard on the brakes, like I wasn't on the brakes at all there. I just let off the gas and let the car turn. You can, depending on the Drivatar level, they will follow the brake line religiously, and other ones won't. So if you can get to the point where you're comfortable trusting your own skills outside of the brake line, then you can turn it to just corners, which I think gives you like 5% bonus. Like, doing that alone is huge. You factor it over 10, 15 hours, that 5% is going to be massive. And like, if you get comfortable with kind of driving without the racing line, then you can bump up Drivatar levels and things like that, and you'll do just fine. So to kind of put it into perspective, like, okay, so now I'm 175. If we look at the showcase events, which are kind of like they are what unlock the Horizon festivals, or Horizon, whatever you want to call them. Like previous games, these are what you used, these showcase events, these are what you used to progress through the story and unlock different stuff. Like, I've completed 1, 2. I've completed 2 of the 3 or 4. So there's really no reason to do them. Like, you've kind of done everything you can. Like this, I need to run that one again. And then that gets me the last accolade in expeditions. So. And then, like, the big showcase is the thing is like, oh, post a clean time. So, like, if I did this one and complete it by winning it, I get 4,000 accolade points. Which, as you can see in the upper right, like, I've got 400,000. I don't need them. You need 250, I think, to enter the Hall of Fame. So, the accolade system is kind of broken. At the very least. Let's see if I have the right vehicle. Oh shit, there's 5 events in this. Yeah. Let's see. 6.5, 6250. Guess we'll do the pre-runner. The Extreme E trucks, which I think the season form has gone and passed, so they're a little harder to get now. I think you'd have to buy them with credits. They're monsters. Because, I mean, obviously they're electric, so there's only one gear. And they take off like a stabbed rat. So, you know, all you have to do, like, my 800 one, when it was the Extreme E seasons, I just flew through those things, and I was winning by like 10, 15 seconds. I think the guy behind me is in a Tiberti Jeep, if I remember right. It did take me way longer than I would like to admit to realize that these Dimberti vehicles are real. Like it's an actual company that builds these things, and they're not just like a made for Forza thing. Like, I mean, look at the best laps, right? Like, this is the... I don't know if it's part of the welcome pack or it's... I got it super early on. I threw down a 53.66. The next closest is a 54... Or there's a 53.8. But they finished 9th. I won that race by over 6 seconds. There's no reason to not use upgraded vehicles. They're so dominant. Oh, I forgot to look and see at the results of what the vehicle was that had the American flag on the roof. Oops. Well, we know SSC Grumpy is driving one, so. I'm totally fine finishing third, especially when I have 3 more events. To build points with. More often than not, I think if you win, if it's a 3-race series, I think if you win one and come top 2 in the other 2, you're fine. because very rarely does the same Drivatar win. So then you just have to kind of hold off. I would highly recommend, though, if you are struggling to win the seasonal things, there's almost always a circuit race. If you can win that, that's huge. In fact, unless you have to start with the circuit, I would maybe even save that for your second or third race. Because circuit races are where you can kind of take over. You know, if you can get a good if you can figure out a good lap and replicate that lap twice, you're gonna win. If you don't win, you're gonna finish second. So being able to go to a circuit race and go, okay, I can get first or second in this race. You can then use that to be like, okay, I need to make sure I'm ahead of X, Y, or Z. Because then I'll stay above them in the standings. Like, for instance, I don't think Gavino Free or Nefarious Ghost are near the top of the standings, so I'm not too worried about them. Solely because my result, okay, they can close the gap, but I'm more worried about the person behind me on the leaderboard. And if that person is behind me on the track, I'm going to build my gap on the leaderboard. So, I mean, really having that comfortability with, okay, I don't need to win, I just need to finish ahead of certain Drivatar will help you a ton in the long run to speed up kind of your, how long it takes you to do stuff. So then you don't have to restart every race or worry about X, Y, or Z every race. And there's some where you're just not gonna win, like, because they usually put you mid to backpack, especially on the higher difficulties. You're never gonna get anywhere near. Like, look, Gavino Free came in second. I have a, what is that, 16-point lead on them. It's not even fair, and there's like, what, 3 more events? 2 more events? 2 more events. So if I have a 12-point lead on Gavino, I can finish, I think, 5th or 6th if they win. And then we would be level. So, like, if I win this one, I can basically do whatever I want in the last race. I just need to finish, more or less. Ooh, I did get wrecked for that. Don't think I should have, but I did. Probably, I would say one of the most important tips to going fast in this game, especially as you're trying to learn circuits and things like that. If you're not leading, follow somebody else's path. Right, like follow a drivatar's path. They'll break down the whatever. The bowling pin, the fence, the stone wall, whatever it is that you need to break down. They'll break it down for you, and then you don't have to worry about it. So it's not going to slow you down. And then if you can keep that line going, I have a 24-point lead over second. I literally could not participate in the final race and still win. Which it would be nice if they let you do, but they don't, so we have to do it. I will say probably the biggest downside to the accolade system is unless you know exactly what to do and follow a guide, it locks the different houses and their perks behind the accolade system and behind which outposts you have unlocked. And because of that, you can lock yourself out of the fast travel anywhere system until you progress far enough through the accolade system to unlock that outpost and then buy the house. Which, if you do it in the wrong order, the only way that you can fast travel is either to festival locations or houses. So if you don't get the fast travel anywhere house right away, you kind of either need to figure out which one you need to do that, or progress just far enough to unlock the festival site and then the house. And obviously smashing the fast travel boards to make it cheaper is always nice. $79 FJ, baby. Super wheel spin. Get a Testarossa. $765 LT, I think it's gonna be a beast. I did promise Hot Wheels, so we will play Hot Wheels. get off the track. Lock in the G meter. Alright. Let's figure out where we need to go next.
This is a speed race, my favorite. Track machines and precision handling. Like my asphalt racing program, except bigger and more orange.
I mean, we're in Hot Wheels land. We gotta use the Hot Wheels cars. This one was my favorite in the animated Hot Wheels movie that I had when I was growing up. Because it looked the coolest.
Got a towel? This race has a load of water plume tracks. Lots of water, lots of speed, lots of fun.
Apollo? Bel Air? Apollo. That's right, the water speeds you up on these. Couldn't remember what the gimmick was. This is lap 1 of 2, and I have like a 4 or 5 second advantage on the second. I geared up for that speed boost and I still was in the wrong gear. Five and a half minutes. And second was 13 seconds behind me. 12 seconds behind me. Well, freaks and geeks, I'm gonna call it a night there. Um, remember to call your loved ones. Say you love them. See you guys next week. Hopefully, we will all be back in normal.